survivors, it's your girl Rico here, and today, well, what can I say? I was sitting down and I was just about to take off all my makeup and, just wind down, and I was gonna edit a video that I did yesterday, and it just got me thinking about a recent situation that me and my partner went through, and I really want to talk about it, really, because it's been on my mind, not necessarily the situation between me and my partner, but the actual topic itself. So I want to talk about splitting today, borderline personality, and the splitting that we do. If you don't know what splitting is, here's a quick sentence to basically give you a brief understanding what splitting is in the world of the borderline. So it basically says black and white thinking, love you, hate you, come here, go away, and push and pull. Emotional gymnastics are hallmarks of intense, unstable relationship dynamics with individuals who have and exhibit borderline pathology. So that sums it up, really. Somebody who's not on the spectrum of, obviously not on the borderline, they don't have borderline traits or whatever, they think really rationally, and the way that they process information will be kind of like, well, if I love this person, like, it's going to take me a very long time to feel that hate. If obviously I have to go through that situation to feel hate in the first place, but to them it'd be like, right, you would have to do such and such and such and such and such and such, something so bad in order for me to be hating you. It's over time. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're on the spectrum, or when you have borderline personality disorder, it's straight away, it's an instant feeling of actual hate in an instant, and it could be so intense that it's just like, how could I ever have loved you? Like, you hate them. You hate them. And a lot of people don't understand, how is it that you can love so deeply, and you can, say to me one minute you love me, and your life wouldn't be what it is without me, and then in the next breath be like, you know what, I hate you, I hate everything about you, don't touch me, you're disgusting, or whatever the case may be. And when you try to explain that to someone, that I'm generally feeling those emotions, it's not a game, it's not something like I'm putting on, I'm not faking it, this is exactly how we feel, we can switch like that, and it's called splitting, and I do this, and I have a very hard time explaining how it feels. If you've ever felt hate before, or you've ever hated someone in your life that you have loved before, or you have just had any type of feelings, cared about the person, and you ended up in a situation which ultimately turned toxic, and you just fell out of love, and that love unfortunately turned to hate, what do you do with that? What if those feelings that you had was like every day you could potentially love somebody in your life, and on that particular day you just hate them, and within 2 seconds, or half an hour, or an hour, or even sometimes the next day, it's back to love again. It's so black and white. Do you know what I mean? Right is right and wrong is wrong. There's no grey areas. When it comes down to BPD, it's stressful, and it's exhausting, and it ruins relationships. And recently I've been thinking, like that's back on my life, and the friends that I've had and friends that I've lost, and I think to myself, the friends that I've lost, maybe I can count on one hand, like, real situations where I can say, that was a real situation, that person needs to get out of my life, and I'm quite happy that they're gone. But on the other hand, of it, I have to say to myself, did I destroy that relationship? Yes, I did. Did I mean to do that? No. There's another quote, and I wish I had it, but it was basically saying, this is how we try to protect ourselves. We try to protect ourselves when the emotions get too heavy, when it gets too much, when we feel disrespected. And it might not be this, like someone's actually trying to intentionally disrespect us, but we just shut off, and something happens in our brain where we turn around and we just say, you know what, I can't be in this situation anymore. I need out. I need to get out of it. How do I get out of it? And lash out. And you know, sometimes there is no thought process of it. Sometimes we just do it. We just react. And it's hard to explain to someone that you've just said to, you know, like you've just spoken so hot, like you just cussed them out. You just said you hate them. You just said all this other stuff that comes with that. And you looked and sounded like you meant that. And at the time, you did. It's hard to explain to that person that, well, you know what, it's my condition. I didn't really mean to do that. And it's hard to explain to someone that, you know, I can't really say I won't do it again. You know, it's part of the condition. And when I think of it like that, I think to myself, right, like, it's hard. That right there is hard. There's so many other things that come with being borderline and just, you know. Sorry about that. But yeah, you know, I was just thinking that how do you expect somebody to get over the fact that you've just, you know, been super horrible to them? And yeah, like, how do you explain to someone that it really isn't your fault? So yeah, like, I don't know, it's a hard one. You know, you start thinking to yourself, are you worth it? Like, what are you doing to the people around you? And you start, like, I've been reflecting a lot, and I think to myself, a lot of people that are not in my life right now, good riddance. I'm so happy. Bye, 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 bye. But then you got the others that didn't really do nothing to you, and you was the cause of everything. And you look back on how amazing those connections were at the time, and you done messed it up, and there's no going back. The bridge is completely burnt, completely crispy, mashed up, disintegrated, never to be formed or fixed again. And you've got to live the rest of your life not having that amazing person in your life now because you done messed it up. So I wanted to talk about that because I think to myself, you know, we as borderline, you know, we're borderlines, and I think to myself, like, I want friends. I want to have deep, meaningful connections. I sit down sometimes and I think to myself, like, wow, like, I used to be that girl that had that many friends, and now I'm this girl with this many friends. And I just think to myself, right, like, I used to be able to throw house parties and loads of people be there and whatever, and it's different now. I used to be able to do these things, and it just used to be friends for miles and miles. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need to be calling no family for no gathering. Like, I see you at the barbecue, and now it's kind of like, well, we all drifted apart, or I done said some stuff and we're no longer friends, or we don't kick it anymore, or we don't hang out, or we don't do whatever. And I just think to myself, right, like, that's all because I decided to say some crazy stuff that didn't make a bunch of sense, that was probably really painful and hurt their feelings, and they didn't understand my borderline personality disorder. And even if they did, feelings are feelings, and they can get hurt, and they might have decided, like I've touched on in the previous videos, that, you know, I'm just not strong enough of a person to be dealing with this. And, you know, I'm very fortunate and happy that I do have people that know me, that love me, that know that I'm hard work, that know that, you know, I'm not always going to be, you know, like, yeah, love me, have me around, like, I want to be in your face. They know that I need my space. They know that I can get edgy, and, you know, I can cut up and, you know, do them type of things. And, you know, I'm happy, because if I didn't, I truly believe I'll probably be like alone. But I'm happy that I do have the people in my life that I do have. But I wanted to touch on this subject because I have been reflecting a lot and thinking to myself, I miss them people. obviously they're not meant to be on my journey. I believe that obviously they can't be in my lane with me. There's a reason for everything, but you know, you do reflect, especially when you was the cause of the conflict or the, you know, weirdness between you and somebody else. And yeah, like, splitting is horrible. It's horrible. It's something that we do not like. It's something that we cannot control most of the time. We don't know when it could happen. That's another thing. We don't know what, like, I know some of my triggers and I try my best to obviously stay away from them, but there's certain times where what happens when you're just thrown into this, what happens when you don't even know it's a trigger until you're in it, and then you're splitting all over the place because you're vulnerable. You feel vulnerable. You feel like you're not secure. And I used to describe it like, when I used to get really close to people in general, you know, I could be like the party girl, you know, the life and soul of the party, whatever, and I could be that person, but then I get really panicked and panicky and be like, oh my god, like, this is too much. Like, I need to distance myself. I need to go back into my comfort zone a little bit. And the best way at the time to describe how I felt was being in your own house with all the windows and doors open, just constantly open, so people could just walk in and walk out and just be in your face. Birds could fly in, and it's not secure. It's not secure. And that's how it made me feel, having so many people in my life, so many people talking to me, so many people calling my phone. After a while, I get tired of texting or calling people or talking or engaging. Sometimes I need to just be by myself. And because I didn't know how to say 1 minute, or can I talk to you tomorrow, or give me some time, or I have a mental illness and I need that me time for my mental, because I couldn't say these things, it came out in other ways. And this, you know, the splitting side came out and tried to protect me, but it's not protection. Do you know what I mean? I've read a lot on it and I know it's not protection, because ultimately we don't want people to leave us. As I said, I want to make those long lasting relationships, but it's like, what happens when you can't do that for too long? And one thing that's helped me is talking. You're gonna come across a lot of people that can't, won't, and just don't understand, like, your situation. They don't understand mental health. They may all be like, they might be stigmatizing how you're, you know, taking pills, whatever. They could do whatever. They could say whatever. But I've just come to the realization in my 31 years that I don't really care. I need to talk, because the only way I'm gonna able to have these relationships that are healthy, that are not toxic, that are positive, I need to be honest, and I need to talk and say, there's going to be sometimes you're not going to be able to get me on the phone. There's going to be sometimes that I'm not going to want to engage. There's going to be sometimes that I don't want to go here. There's going to be sometimes that I might cancel this plan. There's going to be sometimes that, you know, I'm just going to not be here. And it's all because I need that downtime. I need that. It helps me. And this is the reason why. But I really just wanted to touch on that, because I think to myself, it's such a weird thing to me to really want to have those connections, to really want to have friends and family members, and you want them to be in your life for the rest of your life, but being physically unable to do that sometimes, or you get into it and the person knows everything about you and it's cool and it's great until they do one thing that you perceive as just a danger or a threat to you, and not physically, but your mind is firing off, and you don't like this thing this person's saying, and you don't like the way that their body language is, whatever. And then you start being like, you start niggling at them, and you start attacking them, and you start being like, what's up, and next thing you know, you're saying some really questionable things about the person, and you're just digging in that knife, and you're twisting it because you want them to hurt. And it's like, and it's just because that's how you feel, you actually hate them at that point. And it could be something so small, it could be over nothing and everything. Do you know what I mean? And I just wanted to touch on that because I just feel that there's so much that goes into having borderline personality disorder. It's such a complex umbrella of a disorder. It really is. And that one thing alone it's just so big, it's so huge. But to know you got that to deal with and everything else to deal with because you are a borderline, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on, it's a lot to deal with, and it takes a long time to know yourself, know your triggers, and you need great people around you. And I do have that. Yeah, I might be sitting here saying, but I do have great people around me, my family, my kids, my people. I'm rich in life because my children and my partner and my family make me so. But I do sometimes look back and think, wow, if I never said that thing, if I never done that thing, if I never split hair, would this person still be here? And da 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 da. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. There's nothing I can really do about that now. But I just feel that it's hard. It's hard not being in control of your own emotions. Or what you say. It's one of the hardest things to deal with having borderline personality disorder, if not one of the worst things to deal with, because when you come out of the splitting stage and you realize and you see the devastation, or you see the other person's pain, and you now have turned back on the love switch, and they're tore up because they're like, they can remember everything you said, and because you've got borderline personality disorder, you don't remember half of the stuff you say because you're protecting yourself. Your brain starts to protect itself, so you don't remember that you just said da 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 da. You don't remember that because, as far as you're concerned, your brain is now clicking off to protect itself, to protect you from the harmful things that you've done. But there's this one person that you're supposedly love the most that remembers everything you say. And depending on that person, they can either use that against you, they can either need reassurance from you that might take weeks, months, whatever, because they need to know that when you were saying I hate you and now you've turned on the love switch, which one is it? Because they both are so serious. When you say them, they are so serious. I love you, I hate you. They're very serious things to say to somebody. They come with additional stuff with them, and when you were saying that you hate them, you really looked like and sounded like you meant it, and we know that we did at that time because that's how it works for us. And then when we say we love them, it's the same. It's the same. It's like, we do love you, we're in love with you. Like, other people sometimes just don't get that, and why should they, without you expressing and explaining your issues? Your one little outburst of splitting could cause you weeks and months of pain and groveling down the road. And it takes a strong person to see all of that and still say, you know what, I got you, I love you. And lucky for me, I have a lot of people that do that for me. But I just think to myself, like, it's so hard. It's so hard. Especially sometimes you could be in like a moment of just being happy and everything's cool and you haven't split and you haven't done on anything like that. You ain't had an argument and you ain't had no confrontation, and and that one thing will pop in your head like, it's good now. Would it be next week? would it be? Like you start, you know, thinking and analyzing everything and internalizing and all the rest of it, and you know that can get you also in a crazy mood as well. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, you know, wanting friends and sometimes being so incapable of creating those relationships. So it's been your girl Rika Yamazaki here. Know that you're loved and you're all that anybody needs, and give yourself a hug because you deserve it. And let me know what you guys think about this subject. I know there's a lot of my friends and on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the other social media places that I'm on. I know that this is a huge problem for the borderlines and their significant others and their partners and their husbands and wives and whatever. Everybody's kind of affected when you love that person, mum, dad, whoever's around you at the time. And let me know how you get on with that, how people perceive you, how has your experience been when you've split or know someone who does split. And yeah, just let me know in the comments down below. I'm very active. I will get back to you. And yes, I'll catch you on our next video.